Hi, everybody. This is Dave Bazanko, and thank you for asking the question, how do I go from 0 to 5K? That means I want to start running and I don't know how to do it. And I was in your shoes 18 years ago when I turned 40. I was 50 pounds overweight. I had no control over my health and well-being, and I just wanted to run 5K. I just wanted to do something good for myself every day. And that's where my journey started. So what I'm going to be sharing with you in this quick video is my process from going from 0 to 5K, and then what I've learned over the years about how I made that stick, how I made that part of my lifestyle. So let's just jump right in. I'm going to talk about, first of all, what I call my VIP process for resilience, because you might think this is just about running 5K, but really what this is trying to understand how can I sustain this new idea, this new lifestyle, this new process over the long term. So not only will it be important for you to realize what is the process that I used to run 5K, but how did I make that sustainable? So that's what we're going to be going through here today. Now, let's just jump right into the question about vision. Is your vision, is your goal, because there's two different things, is your goal just to run 5K and then be done? Or is your goal to be a runner every day? Is your goal to run more than 5K? Is it to eventually get to a marathon? You need to get really clear on what your goal is. And you do that by creating a vision for what your future is going to look like. So for me, my vision was that I would go from somebody who was very inactive to somebody who could run 5K. When I realized that goal, that vision expanded to something more. That 5K moved to 10K, moved to a half marathon, and eventually that moved to me becoming an Ironman triathlete many times over. So my point is, get really clear on why you're doing this in the first place. Is it to lose 5 pounds? Because that's a whole other thing. Or is it to create a lifestyle of health and well-being? So just get clear on the vision as to where you see yourself going with this. And if this is about lifestyle, I'm here to help, because this is exactly what it was for me. It was about making a commitment to the new type of person I wanted to be every day. And if I just follow this simple process, good things were going to happen. Now, the first thing you have to understand about going from 0 to 5K is you have to master the art of showing up every day. This is an easy commitment, although it will feel hard. Over time, after the first 30 days, you're going to go, yeah, this isn't very hard at all. I just had to commit to a process. So the first thing I want you to do is master the idea of showing up and investing in yourself every single day. I know that sounds like a lot, especially if you're not doing anything now, but trust me, mastering the art of showing up is what's going to catapult you not only to be a great 5K runner, if that's all you ever aspire to be, but it's also going to be the catalyst to help you achieve even more if that's where you see yourself going one day. Now, I'm going to explain really simply. Here's the meat and potatoes of it. My telephone pole method for running 5K. So the first thing I want you to do is go to an app called mapmyrun.com, and I want you to map out a route from your house or wherever it is you're running for 5K. I would often use that app, especially if I was traveling, to map out a 5K route from the hotel I was going to be staying at, just so I knew that I was able to map out 5K. You might have a watch that tells you how far 5K is. So maybe that strategy is to do an out and back. So run out 2.5 kilometers, run back 2.5 kilometers. There's your 5K. But so long as you've got some sort of technology that tells you how far to go, that's step number one. Then step number two is commit to walking 5K starting today, and make that your new identity, the new part of your process that is going to represent who you are. Never go out and tell your friends, hey, I'm going to go out and be a marathon runner, especially if you are not a runner today. Or I'm going to go out and run 5K, especially if you're not somebody who runs. Because people don't see your identity as being that type of person. And people can be kind of negative about those goals you've set for yourself. So a lot of this is about how you feel about yourself, both physically and mentally. So the telephone pole method is this. Go out and walk to a telephone pole, then lightly jog to the next telephone pole. Walk to a telephone pole, jog to a telephone pole. Now, if you live in a neighborhood that doesn't have telephone poles, maybe it's walk 10 driveways, run 10 driveways, walk 10, run 10. Maybe you live in an area where you're in the country and there are no driveways and there are no houses to mark. Walk 50 paces, run as far as you can. What feels like 50 paces, about a similar distance. Walk, then run. Do that process repeatedly every day. Now, I would start off by walking 5K. And after a couple of days, your muscles sort of get used to it and go, okay, yeah, this is new, but it's a little bit sore, but you're going to get to a point where you're going to go, I want to do more than walk. So when you start using that telephone pole method of walking to a pole, running to a pole, now you're starting to shock your system a little bit. Now you're starting to push yourself a little bit more, getting out of your comfort zone. Once you can easily do walk one, walk one, run two, walk one, run three, walk one, run four. And eventually what you're going to find is that you can start building up quite a bit of pace. It took me literally 4 weeks to go from being totally inactive to being able to lightly jog 5K. It happens. The one thing that I will tell you is understand that there's going to be some pain. I remember very distinctly the most pain I felt was walking downstairs because I wasn't using those muscle groups anymore. And it was a shock to my system. But I will say this, running, if it's something you haven't done, if you're carrying some extra weight, it's going to be a little bit painful. So, embrace the idea that that pain means that your body is saying you've done something new today, you've done something good for yourself, and this is a good thing. But also sort of pay attention to, hey, am I injured? Am I carrying something? Does this feel like really, really painful for a bad reason? In which case you want to go see your doctor and make sure you get things checked out. And you should never actually start an exercise program without talking to your doctor first. But once you've done that, and you got the clearance to go ahead and run, use the telephone pole method. Walk one, walk one, run two, walk one, run three. Eventually you're going to get there. It takes about 4 weeks. And when I talk about going and seeing your doctor, I still go see my doctor, my cardiologist, before I register for an Ironman race, because you got to make sure you're not a doctor. You don't know what's going on inside your body. Go out and check with your doctor first, get the green light to train, and then go out and start this new process. It will be sore, it will be painful, but you will get over that. Remember, there's no such thing as bad weather. So you might live in an area, I live in Canada, where we get winter, 5 months out of the year where the weather's not great. So don't let weather be your excuse. There is no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear. So go out and get the right kind of shoes, go out and get the right kind of clothing to run in all types of weather. Eventually when you start identifying as that type of person, it's not about I'm going to run 5K, it's about I'm going to be the type of person who runs every day. And when you start identifying yourself as a runner, you're going to start to collect running things, running gear. And that will make your running experience more enjoyable. Now, again, I've said this, you're going to be in pain. Walking downstairs especially, those muscle groups you probably haven't used in a long time, that's going to be painful. But pain is temporary. You will get over it, and you will start to feel like this amazing new person after about 4 weeks. Every time you go for a run, there will be a little bit of pain and inflammation associated with that. But again, that goes away within 5 to 24 hours, depending on how far you're running. And it just becomes part of the deal. But you'll be like me with a big smile on your face, thinking that you've done something really awesome for yourself every day. Now, the last piece of the puzzle, we talked about vision. Are you the type of person who wants to lose 5 or run 5K, lose weight, or this is a new lifestyle? Then we talked about identity. Your identity is the process that you're following. Now, the biggest thing that I want you to think about now is progress monitoring. This is hugely important for people becoming self-motivated to want to do something for the right reasons. Now, progress monitoring is all about telling your brain you've done something good today. And it's really important to get a calendar, put it in front of you, do it on paper. Don't do it digitally, put it on paper where you can see the month, print out a calendar, get a calendar from from wherever, put it down. And every day what I want you to do is I want you to just put a check mark, 5K check mark. What you do when you do that is 2 things. One, you track your progress for being consistent and you hold yourself accountable. But the second piece is you start to allow yourself to, that little check mark gives you a hit of dopamine and it makes you feel like you're making progress. I know it sounds simple, but it is such a huge strategy that I even use today. I track all of my workouts and I always give myself a check mark saying, complete, you did it. And it gives you, it makes you feel fantastic because it's that mental well-being that goes along with the physical activity that creates a sustainable process every day. Now, the last thing I want to share with you is happiness. Don't ever get caught up in the idea that unless you want to be an Olympic athlete, that winning is number one. Winning is showing up and being able to do this activity every day. So I learned after my second Ironman how to redefine happiness in my life. And I want to share this with you because it might be really important as you go from 0 to 5K. It is. Happiness is the joy you feel while striving for your full potential every day. It's not crossing a finish line. It's not saying, I'll be happy when I run 5K. I'll be happy when I finish that race. I'll be happy when whatever. No, it is. Happiness is the joy you feel striving for your full potential. That is one of the key tricks to being sustainable, to being resilient, is to be able to say, you know what? I understand. Real life's going to get in the way of this idea of me trying to run 5K. And I'm going to do everything that I possibly can to keep moving forward. And if I allow myself to feel happy because I took another step forward today, then I'm going to be a happier person. If I hang all of my happiness up on the idea that, or the notion that I'm only going to be happy if I reach this goal, then, that's not a good strategy because you might not reach that goal and you might get really frustrated with yourself in the process. So at the end of the day here, we talked about how do we get from 0 to 5K? Well, commit to showing up every day. Understand why you're doing this in the first place. Go out and try that telephone pole method. Let me know in the comments how it worked out for you. Very happy to add any context that I can to this process, but it works. It just simply works. Have a clear vision of what you're trying to do. Go out and assume that identity every day. Mark the progress. That helps you become self-motivated. And, all I can say after that is stay healthy, train safe, and never run with earbuds in. You want to hear everything around you. Last piece of advice. Okay, thanks for watching. And again, leave your comments down below if you have any questions. Bye for now.